Now, barriers that I encountered, the EAP office makes it so easy, and they offer so much help that there really wasn't a lot of barriers. I think the only barriers that you guys might find is the ones that you put on yourself, the barriers, or the ones that you perceive to be barriers. Like I remember when I decided to tell my parents that I wanted to study abroad, I had gone home for a weekend. Again, 2 hours away, right? No problem. If you're from Southern California, you go home, you do laundry. And my parents were in the living room, and my mom was watching her evening soap opera, her novela, and my dad was shining his shoes. He had his glasses on. And I said, I need to talk to you guys about something. And my dad had his glasses like this. I said, okay. Well, the last time I wanted to talk to them like this was when I told them that I had gotten into UC Santa Barbara and that I was going to send in my SRE, my student intent to register. So they knew it was something serious, and I said, I want to go. Well, I said I'm going. I didn't say I want to go. I said I'm going to study in Italy. My mom tried to be supportive, but her eyes bulged out of her face, and my dad stopped shining his shoes. And he kind of chuckled, and then she lowered the TV. My mom lowered the TV, and I said, okay, well, I want to go abroad. And she said, well, just how do you think you're going to pay for this? Like, how much is it going to cost you? And I said, well, no, well, the financial aid transfers, and, I could fundraise. Or at that point, I didn't have my plan set, so to speak, but I tried. And being up here was a big deal for them because my sister went to college locally, and I'm the youngest of three. So for my mom, for me to be halfway across the world was a big deal. So I felt bad. It's almost like guilt. I think I felt almost guilty because I was going to leave them. And as Professor Lomeli said, you miss your parents. And if you're close to your parents, you might feel that guilt. But that's not a barrier because it'll help you grow as a person to overcome it. So my parents ended up supporting me. And we did have Skype. It was the early days of Skype. So I was able to Skype them. I Skyped them once a week religiously. And I called them. I spent Easter at the Vatican. So I grew up Catholic. My parents are Catholic. So I saw the Stations of the Cross with Pope Benedict at the Colosseum for Good Friday. And then Saturday, I went to Vigil Mass inside St. Peter's Basilica. And then the next day, I went to Sunday Mass in St. Peter's Square. And I called my mom. And I said, Mom, I'm listening to the Pope. I'm in St. Peter's Square. Absolutely, she was so happy and so excited for me. They were all very excited. That's just an example of some of the things that they ended up being happy that I was there. And then, of course, the little logistics. Those aren't barriers, but they're things that I was worried about. Okay, so I subleased my apartment, right? That worked out. It just worked out. My car, I lent it to someone, and they made payments while I let them borrow it. And it ended up working out because a friend that went away to study abroad in the fall came back in the spring, and he took over my apartment. So I sublet it. So that was fine. So no barriers, really no barriers other than the ones that you will put on yourself.